This $400, $400 to $1,000 to process this. Where is this 10,000 coming from? They said, oh, there's a lot of complications that have to be taken care of. Now, I did not know this game to play. Needless to say, this invention has made it into OnStar. OnStar uses this. They use this invention to automatically stop cars. Just this invention just got into a lot of cars now coming. You're backing up a car, and it automatically stops. Automatically, you can change the speed of vehicles now. Since 2012, this invention, they just did that because they knew I didn't have that money. They did that to stall me while there's a law in the book that if you can't do the invention within a year, somebody else can, which is what they did. I didn't know that they do this type of things before. I didn't know. The same thing with a GPS system on phones where you can. I heard about a Chinese and a white lady that got stuck in a mountain somewhere and almost froze to death because they couldn't be tracked or something. And I thought about a system where the GPS system where if somebody's stuck and you can't find them, like on the mountain, like what happened to them, you you can you can track them on a GPS on the phone. I thought about this, and I wrote it down, took it to one of my instructors. Next thing I know, phones are coming out with it. Companies now have to where you can be on a social site and they detect your position. They went ahead and patented. This is a lot of money, but I didn't understand how to handle these things at the time, because God was teaching me how to do something. I'll show you how wicked they go to destroy. Another example, I just recently found out that they had problem with energy, that they couldn't produce enough energy to sustain. But what I had thought that developed nations like America, unlike Cameroon where I'm from, they have a system to where what they use to produce electricity is a turbine. A turbine. As water flows, it turns that turbine. As that turbine has magnets and coils, as those things turn, they produce electricity somehow. So what I thought they did was, as the water flows, they take a portion of it and block it up, and use some of the energy generated to push the water back, and then it's like a fountain, and it constantly produces energy. That solves that problem. This is not what they did, but I just found this out from one of my classes that that's not how they do it, and they're having problems with energy. So I asked my instructor, why isn't it that they do it that way? Well, needless to say, a few days later, I found out that they're talking about coming out with a natural, using gas to turn those turbines, which is a simpler solution than building large nuclear sites that can be dangerous to society. They could use that natural, but they got that from. But what's evil about this whole thing is not that they steal these inventions, but that these inventions are very vital. We know how long it's taken to solve some of these problems. That's not where the problem is. The problem is they destroy lives to get these inventions, which they shouldn't. This is how wicked. I never knew this. When I first came to this country in 2001, I was working on an invention at the time. It was a computer invention, and it had to do with USBs. I forgot the details of that, but it was a very powerful invention. I forgot the details of that invention. I'm still praying for God to give it to me. But by now, I believe they have stolen it already. It's out. They're using it for some secret, probably some secret project somewhere. It was a very powerful invention. At the time, I did not know that you can be going to school, struggling to study, and there are people that spend money and time with the aid of demonic spirits to spy on people's privacy to destroy life like that? I didn't know this. Well, why am I saying this? You will be shocked to know that the terrorist attacks are linked to this thing. This individual you call, whoever his name is, Osama bin Laden. This guy, his name, that Osama part was never his name. Okay? They just take a guy, fabricate a new birth certificate, and put that name on there. Take the family name, add that name on there. You ask, why do they add that name? They add that name to try, they see a person that has a gift from God, they try to tarnish that person's image. They try to destroy that person's name. They have this theory. See, demons teach them these things. See, there are people out here that demons speak to them. They can hear demons tell them what to do, how to destroy. They see someone that God has put a gift that will be beneficial for society. They think of a way to destroy that person's image so that that person cannot benefit society. And they think about these kind of things. And they just pick a person like that and say, guess what? Your first name is now Osama. And then your last name is Bin Laden. You see, my last name is Sama. This kind of sounds similar, right? See, but the thing is, you can call a rose anything, but that rose is going to remain a rose. There's a wickedness to do. And the funny thing is, none of my ancestors ever been Muslim. I've never seen the four walls of a mosque. Never in my life. I grew up in a Pentecostal born-again Christian church. I'm a Christian, raised up there. All my ancestors, the furthest they've ever been to any other religion is Presbyterian. They've been Presbyterian. You see, but they do this. Demons teach them to manufacture this wickedness. Why am I putting this now? I've grown to a spiritual level that God can show me things before they happen clearly. And what it is now they've gotten one of my cousins, and they've gotten this guy to take pictures of buildings and different things around the place. And they're close to carrying out another wicked act. Why? Because I put on Facebook that I'm trying to get enough people to pay attention to this pollution thing so we can go to Jesus and Jesus give us a solution. See, they don't like this. They do not like this. To them, they don't want any testimony that proves the evidence of Jesus, His grace, His effectiveness. And taking this problem to Jesus and having Him solve it is a testimony that they don't like. So this cousin of mine that they've gotten to be doing it. And the thing is, I've written to the FBI. I've called the FBI. The phone hung up on me. I've tried every time. I've even written an email to ASU to complain when I went to the federal building and I was threatening that they will carry out attacks and blamed on me. Why I'm making this video is because this will show clear proof of multiple attempts to alert. So they cannot lie that we did not know. Because if someone writes to a school like ASU, that's a big enough school. To the least, they could have contacted me and said, well, what are you saying? Let's look into it. And see if there's something we can prevent it. Right? Or at least have people, you know, I'm putting these things on YouTube. Nobody will belong to an evil organization that's plotting wickedness and then be publicizing it on YouTube. Those two don't act. So if they're planning to carry out a wicked act with this individual to somehow say that I'm linked to some nonsense, well then everybody who has a family member that's gone to jail must be linked to some wickedness, even if there's no evidence that links them. You know, but clearly they can't do that. But they try to raise the smoke cloud. They're gonna keep, you see, and what they do is this morning, see, and when God tells me something, somehow these demonic spirits, they can know that God told a person something. They can know that God, you know, they have ways of knowing. The details of it is not something we're going to discuss, but they have ways of knowing. and then they try to discombobulate the attention of people so you don't pay attention to it. This morning, what did they do? I just seen on the news that a scandal in another country. That's just to take the public's attention from what they're really plotting. They try to discombobulate people. Somebody, oh, a scandal in another country. When they have their true plots, and you keep telling the people, if you want to sell your soul to the devil, go ahead and do your job. But why do you so insist on getting someone that's not interested in this stuff involved in it? And the person keeps saying,